So I'm going to have you guys, we'll start. Set your weight to the side. We'll use them later. Okay, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and Cindy's joining us today too. So she'll do your video with me. So knees, talk about the knees. So they're going right under the hips. You want to be in a balance between the hands and the knees, but you also want to not put too much pressure in those wrists. Okay, so we'll make this a nice light stretch. So we'll start with a flat back, long neck, and then adjust those shoulders. So for me, I'm going to think of pulling them down and kind of opening up the collarbone. And I'm going to tuck my toes under just for a little ability to push into my feet. And I'm going to take a big inhale. And from my neutral spine, my belly is tight. I'm going to exhale, round my spine, tuck my chin, really start to tie and find the abdominals. And then lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Remember those shoulders are pulling down and round and curl and exhale, pulling the tailbone to the forehead, and then lift, pressing the ribs and down to the mat using the hands. Exhale, we'll go 2 more. And I think Cindy and I both have some really big allergies. So, oh gosh, I feel all stuffy. 1 more. And exhale. And then I'm going to have you untuck the toes. I'm going to have you sit back to the heels, open up the knees if you want, and then walk those hands forward. So you're in this kind of child's pose, and really push into the hands. Let the forehead come down, and use the hands to kind of pull the shoulders down to the mat, kind of pushing open that whole sideways armpit area. And then I'm going to have you walk your hands all the way over to the right side of your mat. The right hand to the edge, stack that left hand over the top of the right. And then I want you to pull that left side out. So you want to curl, almost like you're pulling your right hip to your right hand, but you're really opening up the side. And we're going to walk our hands through center, left hand to the left side of your mat, stack to the right. Use your hands to pull again as you open up that whole side waist of the body. And let's go 1 more time over to the right. So let your head just kind of rest on the arms and just pulling that side open. So you should feel your lap, the ribs opening up, and then back to center. And we'll go 1 more time the other way. So big, big stretch. And maybe you're getting bigger now because you're a little more loose. And then we'll bring our hands back to center. Let your forehead rest on the mat. Now we're going to start with an exhale. Tuck the tailbone, pull the belly up, low belly, and round through the spine. Come on up back to that quadruped, and if your knees are open, you're back together. And I'm going to have you guys come up to a standing, but we'll get there in right now. Okay, so walk your hands out a little farther than underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. And we're going to lift the knees into that big upside or pyramid, upside down V. Press into the hands, push the heels to the floor, really push into those hands, pushing away. And then I want you to tuck. So pull that low belly up, tuck and round through the spine, lift the heels, come into your plank. Nice, long, long plank, hold it here. We're going to send the hips straight up to the ceiling, push into the hands, push the heels to the mat, head between the arms. We'll go 1 more time. Curl and round through the spine, come into that big plank. We are going to send our right leg up, and we'll step it forward and try to go for between the hands. Big step. And you may not be able to do it like I can, but I'm going to adjust because these mats are so sticky, my foot. So we're going into this big lunge, okay? So your chest resting on the top of that forward leg, my right leg. I'm going to drop my hips down and really open up those hip clusters. So my left hip is open over the mat, and I'm going to try to press it down open. Okay. And then I'm going to use my hands, and I'm going to push into the mat, straighten my front leg, trying to keep my chest down on the top of that thigh. If you're really flexible, you can lift the toes up, pull into that heel, try to pull the hips back. Bend into that forward knee, sink back into that lunge. I'm going to take my outer hand, bring it inside my foot, roll open my knee. And while I'm here, I'm going to drop my hips to the floor, pushing into the outer part of my foot. You should feel inner thigh and hip opening up. Bring the knee back to center. Hand goes to the other side. We're going to take that foot back, stepping the other, but we're going to start with that leg lift. So you're in a plank. You're going to press yourself up into a pike. You're going to lift the left leg or opposite leg, squeeze the butt, step it forward as far as you can go. I did much better. I had to keep my foot lifted as high as I could so it wouldn't grab on my feet. So drop that hip down. You're kind of resting on the top of the thigh if you have that accessibility. Opening up that hip, trying to sink into that hip. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, push that back heel down to the mat, lift the toes if you want. Pull into the heel as you can. Push into the hands, pull into that heel, pull the hip back. Bend into the knee. Take that outer foot hand, bring it into the center. Roll to the outer part of your foot as you open the knee, sink the hips down a little farther, lengthen. Take a long, long spine. Settling a little deeper. Close that knee up. Bring the hands to the outer part of the foot. Step back into your plank. Okay, so here we're in our perfect plank. Belly is tight. Socks are falling off. Yes. And we're going to walk our hands with big steps toward our feet. And we're looking at our feet, and our feet are parallel and underneath our hips, where they should be, if not adjust. I'm going to take my hands, wrap them around the back side of my leg, let my head fall. Stretching, letting the spine go, feel the weight of the head. And then take that inhale, and as you exhale, suck up that low belly and start to rebuild the spine. Nice and slow. As you come up to a standing, and take a big inhale. Hold the shoulders down, lengthen the spine, reach through the fingers. Your weight is in your heels and exhale. Grab your band. We're going to do one of my favorite stretches, which will be good for today's class. So it's a light band. You can also use a really heavy band for this stretch, and we're only using it for this stretch. So I'm going to have you grab either end of your band, and you can take up some slack on it when we start to step on it. So I'm going to have you step one foot parallel on top of the band. The other foot, let's go wider with our stance, okay? So you can take up a ton of tension on this band. The more tension, probably the better the stretch will feel. So to start, find your heels, okay? So I have more weight in my heels, my toes are light, so I'm standing up nice and tall, 2/3 of my weight in my heels. And I'm just gonna go drop one ear toward that shoulder, pulling the belly in, letting the band kind of pull that farther arm, shoulder down, come up nice and tall on an exhale, center yourself and we'll go the other way. So ear to shoulder, let those shoulders settle. The band should be pulling away or pulling down. That opposite shoulder belly is tight on an exhale. Come up, we'll go another over to the other side. So my lower arm is just kind of resting. I'm letting the band draw that upper shoulder away from the ear. Belly tight, come up. And one more time. Feels good. Oh. Well, it feels good to me. Exhale, come up. We're going to add a little nod of the chin. You're going to drop one ear over one shoulder. And then when you kind of find your stretch, slowly let the chin fall toward that side of the chest, and the arm is being drawn down, shoulder flat. Line up the ear with the shoulder, exhale, come up, and inhale other way. Settle those shoulders first, feel the length in the neck, and then dip that chin down toward that side of the chest, so collarbone, line it up, bring it back to center. We're going to do a couple more things, and then we'll be done with our stretching. So we're going to bring those shoulders straight up, like a slide up to the ears. And exhale, feel the band, pull those shoulders away from the ears. Inhale as you come up, keeping yourself weighted in those heels. Exhale, so you're not tipping forward, your shoulders are lined up right over your ankles. And exhale, one more. feel like a kid. All right, set that aside, because we're done with that for now. I'm gonna have you guys come back down to a quadruped position. We're gonna start to warm up the belly. If you need a pad or anything under your knees, you won't stay here long, but you can roll up the mat. And then anyone that has tailbone stuff, Phyllis, grab your mat or grab your pad. Okay, so our toes are up. We're in that perfect quadruped position. Our belly is pulling up, ribs pulling up from the floor, neck is long. And you're just gonna lift the knees up. And as you lift those knees up, figure or kind of feel, where did your weight go? Is it more into your hands? Maybe shift back more to the feet. We take it out of the wrist, hold it here. Maybe I can come up with a story while I hold this, but I can't. Sorry. Drop the knees, take a quick break. We're going to do that 3 more times. Okay, so shoulders down, belly tight, lift the knees, hold it and hover. If you feel low back, just lift the pelvis up a little higher, pull the belly a little tighter, shift weight equally between the hands and the toes and the feet. And step the knees down. We got 2 more like that. Remember, don't put all the weight into those wrists. Maybe you can light in the hands, more weight in the toes. Belly is super tight. Pulling it all into your center line, drop the knees about 1 more. And we'll add something to this one. Okay. So we're warming up. We're going to tuck the chin, pull the tailbone to the forehead like a big cat. Push into the hands, try to keep the knees still, and then come back into that nice neutral spine. Don't worry about lifting the chin. Exhale. Round and try to get into that lowest part of your spine. Lift the chin. We got 2 more like that. Exhale. Round. Pulling the belly up, pulling the ribs up. Lengthen back to neutral. Here's your last one. And lengthen, step those knees down, sit back to your child. You're done. But you should be warm. So we got a little upper back there, belly work. You're going to tuck the tailbone, roll yourself up, and we will come to a seated position. Knees will be bent, feet will be lined up with your hips. So heel, sitting bones, and I'm going to take my weight, but I'm going to just put them down beside me. All right. So we're going to start just with that C curve, and I really want you to try to find the abs and incorporate those as you work through this slowly. And use the hands. You're going to sit up tall, find your sitting bones pointed to the floor. Take an inhale, shoulders going down. Exhale, just curl the spine. Don't worry about curling back. Just use the hands if you want to open up the vertebrae and sit up tall. And exhale. And sit up tall. And exhale, we'll go 2. Hold that belly deep. Sit up tall. Use your last one. Curl on that exhale. And sit up tall. So we're going to stay with our feet just like they are. We're going to reach our arms forward. Set your shoulders. So if you need to roll them up, roll them down, just pull them away from the ears. Seated tall on an exhale, you're going to pull yourself back. And I want you to try to go low. So tailbone shooting across the room through the feet. You're on the back side of your pelvis, you're going to pull yourself up. You may feel like your feet want to lift. So just go as far down as you can feel. Maybe lightness in the feet, but not lifting from the floor. Belly is tight. Roll it up. You're going to add arms to this. So as you curl back, I want you to open the arms, keep the shoulders down. This adds weight to the curl. And as you curl up, keep the arms forward. We'll go 4 more. Curl. We are going to add weight to this. So remember, if you hate the weight, you don't have to use it. Inhale. Belly tight. Ribs pulling down. Curl back and hold it right here. As you curl up, we're going to lift one leg to a tabletop. Curl yourself up. Step back. Curl it back. Opposite foot up. Curl it up. Step that foot down. We got 2 more each side. Curl. Lift opposite leg. Try to keep it up. And then set it down. Curl it up. We got 1 more set, okay? Curl it back. Curl. Set it down. Belly is tight, shoulders down. Curl it up, pause right here, open up the knees. And let's reach for the toes. So we're going to go into this kind of elongated diamond shape with the legs. Wrap your hands around the toes if you can, or shins, and just curl. While I sniffle. My head is down. Rebuild the spine and keep those legs open just like they are. So you can close them up a tiny bit, but create that diamond shape. We're going to reach the arms forward, sit up tall. We're going to curl ourselves back, arms are coming up. And as you curl up, sit up tall, reach those arms forward, pull those shoulders down, curl it back. So I want you to stay out of the legs, use the belly, if you can get into hip flexors, so lighten up those legs, belly is tighter. And two more, curl it back, belly, belly tight. Keep it tight as you come on up. And last, curl, pause right here, lift up one leg, curl it up, set it down, sit up tall, curl back, arms come up, shoulders down, lift the other leg, curl it up, set it down. Two more, curl, lighten those hip flexors, lift up a leg, curl, set it down, curl it back, opposite leg, come on up, and do one more set, sit up tall, curl, arms come up, opposite leg, curl, boy, I was thinking belly tight, lift, and throw yourself up, good, keep those legs open, forward, fold, dive to the toes, let the head fall, let the knees relax and the hips relax, let the spine loosen up. We'll bring our feet back to that parallel and hip distance. Okay. So again, grabbing the weights. If you hate the weights, don't lose them. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring those arms forward. Okay. This is why you stretch. There was a plan. Okay. Curl it back open. Don't go far if you feel neck or drop the weight. Inhale. Roll it back to the back side of that pelvis. Use the belly to draw yourself up. Don't use those legs. No weight in the legs. Almost like you don't have legs. Curl. No, this wouldn't work without legs. Okay, two more. Curl it down. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. The next time you go down, we'll hold. Hold it. Pause. We're going to close the arms. We're going to open. Keep that belly tight. Don't worry about how big you make this opening with the arms. If you feel like you're going to fall backwards, don't open so big. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we close. Keep that belly tight. Two more. Open up that low back. Really try to open it up. Here it is. Throw it up. Tuck the weight down for a minute and let your head fall to your knees. I'm going to add some rotation to that work. Okay. So arms are going to reach forward. We'll start with just that curl back, arms pulling toward the chest. So your palms face each other, elbows are out, shoulders down, sit up tall. Curl, and as you curl, bend the elbows, draw the weight to the center of the chest, and curl it up, lengthen the arms, lengthen the spine. Exhale, pull the belly tight. And pull it back as you lengthen and sit up. Curl back, 3. Two. And here's your last one. Pull it up, and we're going to add on to this. So curl back into your deepest curl and pause. Set those shoulders down. Wiggle your toes. I always do it. Like pull your belly back. Rotate from the ribs up, looking to that back elbow. Come back center. Rotate the other way, looking to that elbow that's behind you, or looking to the floor behind that elbow. Really getting into those obliques, keeping the hips still, not letting those hips move. We got one more each side. Last one. Bring it up, lengthen those legs, step the weights down. Grab your toes if you feel like you can, or ankles, shins, We're going to sit up nice and tall. So we're going to add some more step away to side. So we're going to sit up as tall as we can, and I'm going to have you take your hands behind your right knee, okay? We're going to bring that right knee to a tabletop. We'll extend the opposite leg long, okay? Curl it down, trying to stay in that tabletop. Now stretch that leg up to the ceiling, draw it closer towards you, pulling that hip down to the mat as you draw the leg closer. Bend the knee. Take that inhale, and we're going to curl ourselves up. So as you curl, your chin tucks, use the hand and the leg, and sit up tall. We're going to curl it. Stretch that leg up. Draw it towards you. Bend the knee to a tabletop. Curl yourself up. And we'll switch sides. Set that foot down, bend knee to start. Bring your left leg up to that tabletop. Sit up as tall as you can. Bend the other leg long. Belly is tight and our heels in that as you curl yourself down. Stretch the leg up. Remember, control is the biggest thing here. So just trying to roll down as gracefully as you can. And then tabletop the leg. Exhale. Roll it up. Use the hands against the back of that leg. Roll it down. Stretch it up. Maybe add that flex if you want that deeper stretch. Draw it a little closer. We're going to walk our hands up, lift the chin to chest, and look down to your belly or maybe to the toes that are on the floor. We're going to take our hands, support our head, and we're going to move our legs. Nice and slow, keeping that tail heavy. So your tailbone is pushing to the mat. You should feel your shoulder blades on the mat. It's not a big like crunch or pull up. Belly is tight. Head is resting. If you feel too much in your neck, lower the head down. Reach through those toes across the room as one leg lowers. 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it. Right leg is lifted, okay? I'm going to rotate toward that leg. So my opposite shoulder reaching to that thigh, and I'm going to scissor and lift. And I'm going to scissor and lift. And I'm going to inhale as I come to center. Exhale. Really tighten the ribs. Support that head. 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to center. Tabletop the legs. Roll yourself down to that 1. All right. I'm going to switch down. Adjust. Hopefully my weights are near me. Okay. So grab your weights. Kind of wiggle yourself around until you find your center, okay? So again, hands do not have to use the weights if you don't want to, okay? Open up the shoulders, little tuck in the chin, feet are grounded to the mat. And as we roll up, I just want you to press into the hands or press into the weight as they push away, curl it up. And then press as you pull down. Shoulders nice and open. Exhale, press to lift. And press as you roll down. This can get necky, so be careful. Chin tucks, belly tight. Think of lifting from the collar or the heart center maybe, and really get that big tuck. We're going to go one more. Hold it up and pause. And have you take the hands and lift and cover those hands. Bring one leg to tabletop. Bring the other leg up. We're just going to float the arms up maybe to the knees. Press them down. Push. Inhale up. Exhale, press. If you need to lower the head, lower the head. Exhale. Here we go. Last one. Inhale up. As we press the arms, extend the legs. As we lift the arms, bend back to tabletop. Exhale. Push. Inhale, bring them in. Remember, lower head if you need to. Press. Lower the legs go. The more work it is. And 2 more. Here's your last one. And roll it down. Feet go to the floor. And we're going to kind of try to undo any of the tension we just created. So I'm going to have you guys do some bridging. So I'm going to keep my hands on my waist. I want to use those. to open up my arms just a tiny bit wider maybe than my mat. My palms are on top of my weight, my shoulders are open, my belly is tight, and I have that neutral little lift in that lowest part of my back. So I'm going to start with that exhale and think of pressing that part of the spine that was lifted, pulling the belly tight. Now push down into the feet to curl up into your bridge. So when you're in your bridge, remember shoulders, neck, relaxed, hands are just resting on the weight. As we roll down, I want you to try to think of creating that length in the front side of the body even as you roll down. So for me, curl up. We'll go 4 more. As you curl up, belly is tight, squeeze the butt, lift that pelvis, reach the knees over the toes as you exhale, softening the back side and tightening up the front and back. Squeeze up. So as you roll through these bridges, you should kind of get better and better, looser and looser, and kind of finding that place where you may have to hold it up at the top and pause. So we're going to shift weight over more to the right heel. We're going to bring our left leg up to a tabletop. We're going to set that foot down. Use your hands to keep the pelvis still. The belly is tight and the shoulders are nice and wide on the mat. So you're trying as you lift one leg not to let that hip dip. Belly is tight. If you feel low back, just lower the pelvis a tiny bit. Lift. Hold it on this last one right here. Extend that leg. You're going to lower it through center, circle it out, and pushing down into your stabilizing leg, heel, foot, pressing into your weight. We're going to reverse. Okay. Belly is tight. 2 and 1. Tabletop the leg, step the foot down, adjust, and roll it down. Okay. We got 1 more on the other side. We'll stretch and we'll do some more. All right, roll it up on an exhale. Pause right there. Get those hips nice and stable. Shift weight more to that left heel. Squeeze the butt. Other knee, tabletop. Extend the leg. Down through center, circle out, up and around. And remember, this doesn't have to be big. It's more about controlling the pelvis. 1. And pause. We're going to reverse. I'm just going to make you do 2 more. And last one. Tabletop, set the foot down, adjust the weight equally between both feet and roll it. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Let the tail curl up. Pull your knees deep into the body usually. Set the feet down. Hands are coming back to your weight. So I'm going to have you widen the feet just to the edges of your mat. Lift your toes so you're on your heels. So again, my heels are going to take most of the weight. That'll turn on my glutes a little more. My hands are going to go open to a T, okay, and my palms are up. So on an inhale to prepare, I'm going to exhale, and I'm just going to press straight up to that big shoulder bridge on an exhale. So pelvis is high. I'm going to lower it halfway, and I'm going to push down into my heels, equal weight to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, squeeze to lift the pelvis. So squeeze the buns. You're not tapping it all the way to the floor, just maybe halfway down. And to lift that pelvis on an exhale, I want you to really push down into those heels. And try not to wobble like that. I'm even wobbling today. 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it here. Bring the arms up to the ceiling, but the shoulders are down. As you lower the pelvis halfway, the arms open to a hover T, and exhale, pull them up. And inhale, belly is tight. Exhale, press them up. Inhale, down. Exhale, shoulders stay down as those arms close. Up in front of the chest. 3. Don't forget about the butt. Squeeze it. 2. And here's your last one. Open the arms out, step the pelvis down, bring the feet back together, and just take a break. So from From here, just keep the arms wide, palms up. I'm going to have you drop the knees. So if you bring your feet together, close as you can, dip the knees to one side, let the feet stack. So my one foot is stacked on top. I'm going to exhale, use my obliques to draw the knee back to center, go the other way. Exhale, bring it back to center. We'll go one more time. So just start to incorporate your obliques here, and on that exhale, tighten the belly and bring those knees back to center. One more on the left. Exhale, use the belly and pause right here. So I'm going to have you bring your knees to a tabletop. I'm going to have you just set the weights down for just a second. So if you want to keep hands on top of weights, it's fine. Otherwise, I want palms down, pressing the mat, okay, or floor. So my hands are wide like starfish, the fingers are wide. My knees are tabletop. I'm going to dip my knees over to the right. My left hip lifts. And my left knee, try to stack it up and line it up with that right knee. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, dip the other way. Exhale, draw it back to center. Inhale, other way. Trying to keep those knees lined up perfectly. Don't let that top knee slide back. And now we're going to add more work. So you're going to inhale, tip. Now my knees are tipped right. I'm going to press into my hands to bring them back to center. Inhale to the left. Press into the hands to pull them back. Inhale to the right. Press to draw them back. Last one. Pause right here. Sweep the hands out and palms underneath the base of the skull. We're going to curl ourselves up and we'll repeat. I'm going to dip my knees to the right. Don't go far, you'll fall over. And exhale, bring them center. So my chest is staying lifted. I'm exhaling to draw center using my obliques. Inhale, dip, and go one more each side. Last one on the left. Roll it down, find the floor with the feet right. Stretch our legs out long. Open up those hip flexors if you can. Find the hip flexors. So right now when my legs are extended, I get a bigger lift in my low back. So I'm going to pull my belly down, belly button, navel to the floor, and trying to imprint that low back so I get that opening in the front of my hip flexors. And I'm going to bring my arms up, overhead, reach through the fingers, pull the belly tight, reach through the toes with that big, like you're pulling the belly deep. And then bend those knees, come back into that kind of neutral position. And I'm going to have you bring your knees to a tabletop. And we're going to sweep the hands out and up behind the head. I'll lift my chin to my chest. As I dip my knees, I'm going to go to the left. I'm going to rotate to the right. So I'm dipping to the left, rotating, looking down to the floor on the right. And I'm going to come back center on an exhale. Inhale, dip the other way. Exhale, pull it back to center. Inhale, my chest is staying lifted, but if it doesn't feel good to the neck, I'm going to lower it down. So that looking to the floor as you rotate is kind of a big deal, because it really helps incorporate your release. One more to the right and pause right here. Find your balance, pull your belly tight. Extend the leg and extend. And then you're staying tipped. Rotated opposite from the legs, 2 and 1. Bend the knees, come back to center. Extend. Everyone's right. So I'm to the right, my left hip is lifted. I'm looking down to the floor on the left. 2. And last 1. And bring it back to center, roll down. Have you come over onto your side. So I'm going to scooch over to the left side of my mat, and I'm going to drop my knee to the right and coming onto my side. I'm going to support my head comfortably with my bottom arm. Okay, and I'm going to try to reach for my weight. So I've got a weight right in front of me. I've got my left hand holding the weight. My knees are bent. but I want you to line up heels and glutes, okay? So the knees aren't in that like tabletop position, they're shifting, okay? So heels, hips, shoulders. And then I'm just gonna take my hand off the weight for a minute, because I wanna just kind of show you what I want you to do here. So my top hand presses that top hip away. And what happens then is my bottom rib flips, okay? Now I'm gonna keep that lift in that lower part of your waistline. So you're using your belly, it's tight. Now hand on that weight. I'm gonna keep my toes pointed. I'm gonna press the insides of my feet together. Just leave the arms still for now. I'm gonna open my knees and I'm gonna squeeze them close. I'm gonna exhale, open, and remember, we're keeping the lift of the bottom ribs from the mat, like that light lift. It doesn't have to be, just lift it up a little bit. That means the hips are stacked. I'm pressing my feet together as I open. I'm gonna go for 2, resting my head. My neck is long. Hold it and close it. I'm gonna add my weight and my arms to the top of my thigh. So however it's comfortable for you, I just want you to have a pressure into that top leg. So press as you open, push as you squeeze close, relax. Push into that top thigh as you open. Remember, we're not rolling back. Our waistline is light on the floor or lifted or hollowed out. Press into that top leg. It helps with that pressure to get more connection to that outer glute medius. 2 and 1 and close. We're going to stay here. Now I'm going to bend my elbow. So my knuckles are facing forward. My elbow is hugging at my side. As I open my knee, I'm going to open up that arm. I'm going to close the knee, close the arm. Exhale. Push those feet together. Inhale, close. Really press the feet as you open and really pull the elbow toward that top rib cage. Okay, and you're lifted and light in the bottom, pushing those feet together. Go for 2 and 1. And close it up and take a pause. That was my tricky way to get you into a whole bunch more clams while I added arms to the mix. Okay, so bring the knees into that chair position. Okay, so now the knees are closer toward the body. And again, I'm going to take my top hand, push that top hip away so I get that big lift in my bottom waistline. And now I'm going to hover up that top knee right above that bottom knee. Okay, I'm going to flex my feet. Just keep the hands still for now. We're going to open that knee up and close it. And exhale, open. And inhale. Exhale. 2. And last one. Keep that leg strong. Good. And we're going to add the weight to that. So top hand with the weight on top of that top leg. Maybe the thigh. Press against it as you open. Bring it back to your neutral. Exhale, open with that push in the arm. And 2. Keeping the belly tight and the hips stacked. There's the last one. We're going to add arms to this. So I want you to bend the elbow again. Hug it to your side. We're going to do the same thing as we open the knee. Press the elbow in. Rotate that shoulder to open up that arm. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that light waistline on the mat. 2 and 1. Bring it in and pause. We're going to extend the leg from the knee as we push the arm straight out. Extend the leg, stretch the arm out, bend the elbow, bend the knee. Press it out straight. So I want you to feel like you're kicking that heel right across the room. So don't let it come in. Don't let the leg come in. Keep that leg stretching straight out from the knee. 2 and 1. Hold it here. We're going to circle arm and leg. 3 more. Pick a direction. 1 and reverse it for 5. 3. Waist is light. 2 and 1 and bend that. Oh my goodness. Okay, set that weight down. We're going to stretch while we're here. So that bottom knee, maybe move it away from the body a little bit, and you'll get into your stretch however deep you want to. So I'm going to take that top leg, and I'm going to pull that heel, top heel, toward my thigh, bottom thigh. Okay, so kind of that big figure 4. going to take my hand to my knee. I'm just going to gently press my knee open. Now, for that deeper stretch, you pull the bottom thigh in. So I'm crawling my feet back because I want that bigger stretch. And then I'm going to lift my waistline as I open up that knee. My bottom waist is lifted, and I'm going to shift that top hip back. That's a really big stretch. And I'm going to come back to a resting position, stack my knees, and I'm going to roll over onto my other side, like this. So, there we go. All right, so make sure your weight is handy. Okay, right in front of you. Rest my head right on that bottom bent arm. And remember, I'm to the back side of my mat now. So my hips are kind of back almost to the edge. And then my knees are kind of pressed away from the body. My heels are trying to line up with my sitting bones, my top hand and my top hip, but keep that weight in front of you. Push that top hip away to get that lift. Pull the belly in. Hand is going to go to the weight. I'm just going to keep my arm down. I'm going to point my toes, squeeze my feet together as I open that top knee and squeeze it closed. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. My neck is resting. My head is resting. My belly is tight. And to get that connection, I'm pushing my feet together, but not rolling my hip back. So I'm squeezing that top glute and almost pushing that top hip forward. 3 and 2 and 1. And open the knee and pause. Take that top hand and press the weight to that top thigh, outer thigh. I'm going to close my leg. I'm going to push with my hand into the knee. So don't worry about how big you go. Just make sure you're connecting with the glute. Squeezing those feet together. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Close up the knees and pause. We're going to bend the elbow, hug it to the rib cage. As we open our knee, our top knee, remember that light waistline, we're going to open the arm up. So it's just more a rotation in that shoulder joint, okay? Remember, rest the head, no tension there. And thinking of kind of as you squeeze the top glute, maybe squeeze that top arm, press the elbow into the ribs to open it. And 3, belly tight, and 2, and 1. And take a quick break, bring the knees in a little closer like a chair. You're seated in a chair, I'm going to adjust. My head is resting. I'm reorganizing. Shift that top hip. I use my hand just as kind of a little reminder that hip is going to stay stacked. Knees are bent. My hand is on the weight, and I'm just going to hover the top knee. Pull my belly tight. Open that knee without letting that hip roll back. You should really be working. We'll go for 3 and 2 and 1. I'm going to take my top hand, press it to my thigh with that weight as I open that leg. Not as big this way, but I want to connect. My belly is staying pulling in. My ribs are light. And 2 and 1. Pause. We're going to bring that elbow to the rib cage, bend at the elbow. Okay, and we're going to open knee, open arm, and close. Open, close. Don't let that hip roll back. Keep that belly tight. As you start to get fatigued, things start to let go, right? And 1 more. And pause. We're going to extend the leg, extend the arm straight out in front. Reach through that arm, bend, pull it back. Reach and bend. And if you want to flex that foot, it's more work with the flex. I'll go for 2. And you know what's coming. Your finale. Pause, arm, leg straight, circle both for 5, 4, belly tight, 2, 1, and reverse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's it. Let that weight go, bend those knees, take a quick break. That was good. Okay, we'll stretch. Well, I thought it was anyway, because I'm always trying to work that non-existent butt. All right, so your leg thigh can be away from the body for, just a comfortable stretch if that works for you. Just gonna open my knee, but I'm gonna kind of crawl my feet closer and that bottom thigh closer because that's a deeper stretch for me. And as I open up my knee, I'm gonna shift my hip back as I gently press on my relax, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna press myself. Oh my God, where does the time go? Having so much fun. I have one more thing to do and then we'll stretch. So grab your weight. Okay. We're going to come up to a standing, but I'm going to do it the graceful way. So I'm going to straighten my legs and roll myself up. So I'm going to go into a wide second position. My hands are holding my weight. Okay. So knees do not have to bend deep if you have knee problems. Don't go deep, okay? Again, I'm really liking this more weight in the heel thing because for me it really helps turn on my backside a little more. I'm gonna feel the weights, draw my shoulders down, okay? And I'm just gonna use that weight to kind of gently remind me to keep my shoulders down. And I'm just gonna bend into my knees as I open my arms up. And I'm gonna press my hands to my hips as I stretch and straighten my legs. Inhale. Exhale. So I'm thinking shoulders, hips, ankles over. So I'm not tipping forward. I'm pushing into my heels. I'm inhaling as I lower, exhaling. Maybe you're working a little lower. Your belly is tight. We'll go for 3. And 2. And 1. And pause. I'm going to bend into my knees and I'm going to hold it. My arms are going to go to a T. From here, I want to rotate my palms forward, okay? And I'm going to hinge. Okay, so I'm going to bring my arms down in front of me. I'm going to keep a little soft rounded elbow. And now I'm going to add arms opening with the heel lift. So up with the heels, up with the arms, squeeze everything in. Inhale up. So if you didn't realize this is balance challenge also. If you're on your mat, it's harder. Floor is more stable. And I want you to feel like those shoulder blades are pinching together behind you as you open. Belly is tight. 3 and 2 and 1. Heels are going to lift. Hold it here. Pulse those shoulder blades. Pull them together up behind you. Heels are slightly lifted. Belly is tight, ribs are pulling in, spine is long. 3, 2, 1, and come on in and stretch yourself up. Don't throw your weight, just drop them. And we're going to do some stretching to finish. We've got a couple minutes. Okay, so wider, maybe parallel. Stand, parallel. Look weird. Okay, so arms are long, shoulders relaxed, neck is long, and I've got a wider parallel foot. Just let my head fall and feel the back side of my neck stretch. And start to roll down, pulling my belly in as I roll all the way down to the mat. When I get down, I'm going to take my hands behind my calves or my ankles, and I'm going to gently draw myself in. So here, you just pull your body in toward the knees as much as you want to stretch, but let your spine relax, let your head be heavy. I'm going to take my hands down to the mat, flat, or fingertips, whatever works. Head is relaxed. I'm going to bend my right knee, walk my hands over toward the right foot, and push that left hip down as I try to kind of press my chest toward that bent right knee. I want you to feel that kind of hip stretch. I'm going to straighten my knee, walk my hands over to my left, bend my left knee, drop my chest really deep toward that bent thigh or knee. And I'm going to push into that hip, that right hip, pushing it to the ceiling, pressing into the mat. Straighten that knee, walk back. We're going to go one more time to the other side. Bending the right knee, chest is lowered toward that right thigh. Push, moving myself around, using my hands to get that hip straight up to the ceiling. Straighten the knee, walk it over to the left again, and that left knee, push into that right foot, and just pull your body toward that left foot. And I'm gonna come back to center with my legs straight, let my head relax, pull my belly up from the floor as I rebuild. And I'm gonna inhale my arms up as my shoulders come down, swooping up here, rotating palms away, pressing to the hips one more time. Inhale up, palms face each other, shoulders down, rotate palms up, and good job. Beautiful. Welcome to